First thing, the winter wheat trials here this year, we only had one dryland trial that made it to harvest, the state line trial that happened to be on the east side of the state line here this year. That's actually the first time the Nebraska side of that trial has gone to harvest since 2007. We had a dryland trial in Laramie County and one in Crook County that were both droughted out, and the one in Platte County was hailed out, not once, not twice, but 4 times. The irrigated trial in Laramie County did go to harvest with 35% hail loss. And what I wanted to mention, the Crop Research Foundation of Wyoming, which was founded by the wheat growers 3 years ago, took ownership of a new variety last fall, went out to seed growers, and it's named Cowboy. On the 3-year averages on all of those sites, it has been the top yielder based on the last 3 years' averages, as well as the 3-year average from last year on those sites where we didn't harvest this year. Consistent yield over the last 4 years. Meat for growers, medium long coleoptile. That's one of the things guys are looking for emergence when things are dry. The height is about 2 inches shorter than buckskin in dry years, about 4 to 5 inches shorter in a wet year. It was bred by Scott Haley at Colorado State that we have an ongoing relationship with, and we also have a similar relationship with Montana State, looking at some of their varieties. A couple other things, don't forget about fertility. This year we started what we call on-farm trials. We gave 4 farmers 2 bushels each of 6 varieties to plant out in the field. And thank you, Jeff, for helping out on harvest and the weigh wagon on that. And yes, I know you ran off to Powell to go have fun while I got 3 of them done. We're actually going to have 5 this year. We have 2 in Laramie County, 1 each in Platte and Goshen, and then we're going to add a site in Niobrara County this fall as well. But one thing that showed up on there, we saw about a 10 bushel bump at those, and I know it's not all due to fertility, but producers that had a phosphorus level of 24 parts per million Olson have a lot better winter hardiness, and that showed up as about a 10 bushel bump. The folks that fertilized were at, one of them averaged around 28, the other one around 36. The others were about 10 bushels lower than that, in the 20 to 24 range. If you don't have roots on that plant, it's not going to make it through the winter, and it'll make up for a smaller stand. Wheat stem sawfly has been around a while, but this year it really showed up. A lot of producers commented on how much they saw down. Really the only antidote for that, if you really are losing that much, is to plant a solid stem variety, which all of those have been developed by Montana State. They are going to tiller later, they're going to head later, they're not going to compete as well with winter annuals either. But if you have losses in the range of 30 to 35% from wheat stem sawfly, it makes sense to switch to some of those. Montana State just released a variety this fall to seed growers by the name of Warhorse. The yield drag with it is about 25 to 30%. The 2 that are most recent that are available for us are Bear Paw and Judy. The yield drag on those is about 30% of what the highest yielding varieties are. The older one is Janu. 35 to 40% yield drag compared to the high yielding varieties. There are new varieties and some new technologies out there. Montana State is working on a different form of solid stem. These all descend, one of the varieties was the first one to have solid stem in spring wheat by the name of Lou. That's the only place that trait comes from right now. So they're working on another variety. And the breeder at Colorado State has found an old land race of wheat that doesn't emit the pheromone that attracts the sawflies. And so between the 2 of those, we hope we may be able to overcome this. And yeah, and I already talked about the on-farm trials just a little bit. And what we're trying to do with those is get reasonably new varieties out so people can see them in a large-scale field situation. We go through and harvest through the center where the drill went and weigh that. We also sample all of it. I have quite a few booklets here from the wheat planting decision meeting that we had a week ago with all of this data as well as data from surrounding states, both Nebraska, Montana, and Colorado. Also variety descriptions, and that's it.